Hi guys, thanks for joining. So in this video I will take you behind the scenes of how we lit and shot basically this scene. Enjoy!
I am obsessed with lenses. Each project requires its set to be captured. I don't like clean images. I like kind of a dirty frame, if you will. The texture and artifacts that these lenses give you is what art is all about.
Hi guys, my name is Paul. I'm a German-based cinematographer and this channel is all about filmmaking gear reviews but also DaVinci Resolve tutorials. So if that's something that you're interested in, consider subscribe. That really helps the channel. Thank you. So as I've already said, in this video we are talking about how we shot and mainly how we lit this entire scene, because that's everything what this scene is all about. Let's quickly go over the camera setup. So in this one we use the Panasonic S1H in the open gate mode paired with the Blazer Remus 1.5x anamorphic. Specifically we use the 65mm pushing in on a YC Onion motorized slider, and my AC was pulling focus for me then. So that was basically all there is to the camera setup. Now let's come to the more important part, the lighting setup and what was my intention to do it. So here you can see basically as an example, this is just the gear room. There's nothing special on it and it doesn't even look that interesting at all. But my idea was to use the windows as kind of a motivation or as a light motivation, so that there's coming in like orange street lamps and something like that. And then I also wanted to have a complementary color like a green. So and therefore I thought maybe let's just use tube light, which is basically could be something like an old, really old nasty tube light which have this heavy green cast. So that was my basic idea of all of that. So let's go over the key light first. So outside the window we placed two 60-watt lights which were RGB, and therefore we didn't use the color temperature because the color temperature wasn't orange enough, so that looked very yellow. So therefore we used the HSL sliders and turned it into an orange basically tone. And since the windows were already frosted, we used like just the reflector dish, and I had like the Sokani 60 RGB lamp, and then I also had the small Molus X60 which I also made a review on. So not the most powerful lights in the world, but since it was already dark outside, everything worked out pretty well and we didn't have them even on full intensity. And the window closest to the camera we blocked out so that we don't have any light spill or anything like that. Just the window just right in front of me, and behind we lit. So that was basically step one. Then step two, for my kind of backlight or complementary color light, we just used a C-stand, and then on the C-stand we basically mounted a Pavo Tube Mark II, which is the big one, which is 120 centimeters one. So the 30x it is, and that one I set to a white color temperature to 5600, and I adjusted to have like a very green cast. So in the green magenta cast I adjusted to be very on the green side. So that was basically my idea, to have like a little bit of green in the scene on there, and it worked out basically pretty well. So then we had just one problem, that the background was too dark, because you know there are just camera cases and everything just in there is just all black, so it didn't look that good even with the window light coming in. So I came up with an idea and used some aperture bulbs that I used them on there, maybe just as an accent light, also for the anamorphic bokeh and stuff. So that one I also made at 3200, or no, at 2800 Kelvin. And then under basically each stage of the what you basically see in the background, I used some smaller tube lights, which I also turned them to 2800 Kelvin, so that I have a little bit point of interest in there, that it's not everything too black. And that was basically all we did from here about lighting. You know, we just dial it in that it looks good on camera, but that was basically it. And for the whole atmosphere in the room that we also hazed it so that you can see the light rays and everything like that. So my advice that I can give you when you are approaching a scene is that you don't light faces, you light spaces. And if you have a character or a person in that scene, it will be automatically lit if you just taking care of where I can position a light, where's the light motivation, very important. So here I used a nighttime scene with street lamps. So I also have a pretty similar one, also a nighttime scene where I had like moonlight. Just check it out, that. And yeah, that was basically pretty much it. So in the future I'm planning to do more lighting breakdowns like that one. I also have a full behind the scenes of where we shot interviews outside, inside with corporates and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, please comment below, then I will make that happen. And I'm gonna see you in the very next one. Cheers!